The African Global Sumud Flotilla activists return home after attempting to establish a humanitarian corridor to break the siege of Gaza and being imprisoned by Israel. Now, they arrived in Jordan yesterday after a few days in Israeli detention and are expected to land at the OR Tambo International Airport just after 9 this morning. SABC News reporter Chriselda Lewis is there, standing by to give us an update on the latest. Chriselda, obviously, it's a moment that a lot of people are waiting for, and certainly waiting to hear from those that were detained what the conditions were like. But perhaps you can just sort of paint a picture for us what's happening at the airport and what to expect.
Well, Leanne, we're expecting a lot of solidarity activists to arrive here at 9:30 this morning. In fact, the aircraft is expected to land at 9:30, so we'd expect some of the solidarity activists to arrive here at about 9 o'clock. That's our understanding. And certainly, the flotilla's voyage has drawn global attention, and the detention of these activists has triggered protests. You'd recall what we've seen in cities including Rome, Buenos Aires, as well as Istanbul. So in addition to the 6 South Africans, were held there. We've also seen the likes of a climate activist, Greta Thunberg, the former Barcelona mayor, Ada Colau, as well as the European Parliament member, Rima Hassan. Those are some of the visuals that we've seen beamed through both local and international television. So in a statement on Friday, you'd also recall that the International Committee to Break the Siege of Gaza said that some of the detainees from the Global Sumud Flotilla had begun a hunger strike after being detained by those Israeli forces. So once we have these activists return here to the country, we will get an idea of what the detention by the Israeli forces entailed. There's been criticism of the manner in which they had been treated. We'll get a first-hand account when they arrive here at OR Tambo International Airport. So while the flotilla carried only a symbolic amount of humanitarian aid, according to these activists, the organizers are also saying that their mission was to establish a maritime corridor into Gaza, where this nearly 2 years of war has left the population facing an acute humanitarian crisis. So you'd recall that since 2009, Israel has, formally enforced a naval blockade that it said was necessary to prevent weapons from being smuggled in. And Israeli authorities have also alleged that some of the flotilla organizers are connected to Hamas, a claim that these activists have strongly rejected as unfounded. So Israel also accused, these activists of breaking that naval blockade. And I did say a bit earlier on when we were speaking with my colleague Chriselda Lewis that, this has happened before. I mean, vessels and convoys have attempted to break that blockade of Gaza since 2010. And you'd recall in 2010, one of the incidents was the Mavi Marmara incident, where Israeli commandos had boarded a Turkish ship which was called the Mavi Marmara, and that was part of the Gaza Freedom Flotilla. Clashes had broken out then, and the United Nations had condemned that incident, as international condemnation over this incident has also taken place. So while we're expecting some of those solidarity activists to arrive at 9 o'clock, one of the first people here this morning is Tasnim Mohammed, who is here in support, waiting for the activists to arrive. Tasnim, thank you very much indeed for your time. How important is it for you to be here this morning? We've been watching on local television, on international television, whatever information that the activists were able to put through. How important is it for you to be part of the solidarity in their arrival here this morning?
It is very important. As a South African, we support our comrades. We are proud of them. We want to support them and show them that we are proud of them. They only have aid for the children of Gaza, and we would like that to be reaching the shores of Gaza. But unfortunately, they were stopped, and they tried everything that they could, and we are so proud of them. And as a South African, I'm proud to be here today, this morning.
Yeah. And while we will hear from them, what the conditions were like, how all of this unfolded, what were their conditions of detention, we will hear from them. But I think it must have been quite a scary moment, watching the information, as little as it was, come from abroad about exactly what is going on. As we were watching it on television, what thoughts were going through your mind as a solidarity activist?
We had that fear that something could happen to them, but we are really, really relieved that they are safe and they're coming home. especially to their families. Mandla is so proud. We are so proud of him. As a grandson of Nelson Mandela, we are so proud that he's standing up for apartheid and against apartheid and against the cruelty that's happening in Israel, in Palestine at the moment.
Tasneem Mohammed, thank you very much indeed. I'm sure many other activists will be joining you. Yes. We understand from about 9 o'clock this morning. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Tasneem Mohammed, one of the first solidarity activists that are waiting here at OR Tambo International Airport for the South African activists that were detained by Israeli forces. They're expected to arrive from Doha at 9:30 this morning. We're expecting at about 9 o'clock a whole lot more activity here at the airport, Leanne. And of course, she making mention of Mandla Mandela, the grandson of South Africa's former President Nelson Mandela. You would have seen the videos that had been circulating on social media since the incident of the interception of the Global Sumud Flotilla and what had happened after that to the point at which they had been deported, arriving in South Africa at 9:30 this morning.
All right, Chriselda Lewis, thanks for the update from the airport. As you heard, should start getting a lot more active come the hour when they are expected to land, and that's about 9:35 this morning.